Hello everyone, welcome to back my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Tammy Slaton's story has become one of the most inspiring journeys ever showcased on TLC's 1,000 Pound Sisters. Viewers first met Tammy weighed down not only by her size but also by the heavy emotional battles that came along with it. Addiction to food, breathing struggles, and a cycle of dependence that made her future seem uncertain. But against all odds, Tammy proved to the world that transformation is possible when the will to live becomes stronger than the fear of change. Her weight loss journey has been filled with jaw-dropping milestones, from finally qualifying for bariatric surgery to leaving behind oxygen tanks and a wheelchair. Yet, it was her recent skin removal surgery that pushed her into a brand new chapter. While the physical results have been dramatic, losing hundreds of pounds overall, the emotional shift has arguably been the biggest change of all. This article explores Tammy's skin removal surgery in depth, detailing how much weight she has lost, how it changed her body and mind, and why this step might be the most powerful transformation in her entire journey. The long road to surgery. When Tammy first appeared on 1,000 Pound Sisters, she weighed over 700 pounds. At that size, even the smallest tasks, walking, bathing, breathing, were monumental challenges. She often relied on her sister Amy and other family members for daily care. At one point, her doctors warned her bluntly that if she didn't lose weight soon, she would not survive another year. For years, Tammy struggled with failed diets, hospital stays, and emotional battles that spiraled into near-death situations. But eventually, something shifted. Tammy became serious about her health, committing to the weight loss program her doctors laid out. She underwent bariatric surgery after qualifying by losing enough initial weight. Post-surgery, the pounds began to drop more rapidly. Tammy stunned fans by shedding over 400 pounds in a relatively short period of time. This was already an extraordinary accomplishment, but a new problem soon surfaced: excess skin. The heavy burden of excess skin. Losing a massive amount of weight isn't the end of the journey. It comes with a new challenge that many reality TV weight loss stars talk about but few outsiders fully understand. When the body shrinks quickly, skin often doesn't bounce back. For Tammy, the sagging skin caused painful rashes, infections, and chafing. It hung from her arms, stomach, and thighs, making movement awkward. While she was proud of her weight loss, she admitted that looking in the mirror sometimes felt discouraging. The loose skin was a constant reminder of the body she used to live in, a ghost she couldn't escape. Doctors explained that this wasn't just cosmetic, it was a medical necessity. The skin weighed dozens of pounds and dragged on her frame. Removing it would not only give Tammy a more natural figure but also free her from pain, improve hygiene, and make mobility even easier. Preparing for the biggest surgery yet. Skin removal surgery is no small operation. For someone like Tammy, who had spent years with compromised health, the risks were high. But Tammy was determined. She passed her pre-op evaluations, which included heart tests, breathing exams, and ensuring she had maintained her weight loss. Family support played a massive role in this moment. Amy encouraged her sister while Chris reminded her that she was finally living the life they always hoped she would. Fans, too, flooded social media with messages of hope, pushing Tammy to stay strong. Before the surgery, Tammy admitted she was terrified. She had faced so many moments where her health nearly failed her, but this time was different. This wasn't just about survival, this was about living fully. Inside the operating room, Tammy's doctors planned a series of procedures to remove excess skin from her abdomen, arms, and legs. In cases like hers, the skin itself can weigh anywhere between 30 to 80 pounds depending on the areas treated. For Tammy, surgeons estimated that her procedure could immediately take over 50 pounds off her body without her losing an ounce of additional fat. The surgery lasted several hours. Doctors carefully cut away layers of skin, tightened tissue, and stitched Tammy back together in a way that reshaped her frame. When she finally woke up, she was sore, bandaged, and exhausted, but alive and one step closer to the woman she had always dreamed of becoming. The pain of recovery. Skin removal recovery is often described as more difficult than bariatric surgery. Tammy had drains placed in her body, compression garments to hold everything in place, and strict instructions for limited movement. Every step, every cough, even just lying in bed came with pain. But for Tammy, the pain was worth it. She shared glimpses of her recovery with fans, admitting that some days she felt weak and emotional. Yet, compared to the battles she had already fought, being on life support, depending on oxygen tanks, this pain felt like a challenge she could conquer. How much weight Tammy lost. Between her bariatric surgery and her lifestyle changes, Tammy lost over 400 pounds. With her skin removal surgery, she shed an additional 50 pounds of excess skin. That brought her total documented weight loss to nearly 450 to 500 pounds. To put this into perspective, Tammy has lost more than half her body weight. At her heaviest, she weighed more than 700 pounds. Today, she is under 300 pounds for the first time in decades. The transformation is not only visible, it's monumental. Tammy now walks without assistance, breathes without oxygen, and participates in activities she once thought were impossible. The emotional transformation. While the physical results are incredible, Tammy herself says the emotional shift has been the greatest change. For years, she battled depression, food addiction, and the feeling that she was trapped in her own body. Now, she says she finally feels free. The skin removal surgery gave her more than a new figure, it gave her a new identity. For the first time, Tammy looks in the mirror and sees someone who matches the person she feels she has become inside. Her confidence has soared. She has become more active in social media, more open to new experiences, and more vocal about wanting to inspire others. Instead of being a cautionary tale, Tammy now stands as proof that determination can rewrite even the darkest story. Family and fan reactions. Amy cried when she saw Tammy after surgery, saying she had never seen her sister look so healthy. Chris called it the proudest moment of his life. Even extended family members who had once doubted Tammy's ability to change admitted that she had proven everyone wrong. Fans online lit up with joy. Photos of Tammy's progress went viral, with thousands of comments praising her courage. Many shared that Tammy's story motivated them to begin their own health journeys. What's next for Tammy? Tammy has hinted at new dreams, traveling, starting projects outside the show, and even considering writing a memoir about her experience. She's also passionate about advocating for people struggling with food addiction and obesity, using her platform to spread awareness. Most importantly, Tammy says she wants to live life to the fullest, not just survive it. That means more adventures, more independence, and more milestones that go beyond the scale. Why Tammy's journey matters. Weight loss shows often reduce transformation to a number: pounds lost, calories burned, clothing sizes dropped. But Tammy's story reminds us that the real victory isn't in the scale, it's in reclaiming a life once thought lost. Her skin removal surgery symbolizes more than just removing pounds of tissue. It represents shedding years of shame, struggle, and limitations. It's the start of a chapter where Tammy isn't defined by her weight, but by her resilience. Tammy Slaton's journey from being bedbound at 700 pounds to thriving after weight loss surgery and skin removal is nothing short of miraculous. Losing nearly 500 pounds is an achievement that few can imagine, but the true transformation has been her emotional rebirth. The woman who once relied on oxygen tanks now breathes freely. The woman who once cried over feeling trapped now smiles at her reflection. The woman who once doubted she could survive now celebrates truly living. Tammy's skin removal surgery wasn't just about looking different, it was about finally feeling whole. And for fans who have followed her from the very beginning, this emotional change might just be the most beautiful part of all. A journey beyond the scale. When viewers first met Tammy Slaton on TLC's 1,000-Pound Sisters, she was introduced as the fiery, witty, yet deeply vulnerable half of the Slaton sisters. At her heaviest, Tammy weighed over 700 pounds, a number that not only shocked audiences but represented years of pain, struggle, and fear. Doctors repeatedly warned her that without immediate change, she was on a collision course with death. Yet Tammy's story was never destined to be only about numbers. As her fans have learned, the true battle was never just on the scale, it was inside her heart and mind. Over time, she lost not only weight but also layers of insecurity, shame, and physical limitations. The climax of her journey, at least so far, came when Tammy underwent skin removal surgery after losing hundreds of pounds. While the procedure took away over 50 pounds of excess skin, what it truly gave her was a transformation deeper than anything she had experienced before. This is the story of Tammy Slaton's most emotional change yet, the surgery that marked not only the end of one battle but the beginning of a brand new life. From hopeless to hopeful, Tammy's life before 1,000-Pound Sisters was defined by struggle. She relied heavily on her sister Amy, who herself was battling weight issues, and on other family members to help her with daily needs. At one point, Tammy was largely confined to her bed, unable to walk more than a few steps without assistance. Breathing machines, oxygen tanks, and mobility scooters became her constant companions. Doctors cautioned her that her body was shutting down. Yet, despite these warnings, Tammy often struggled to commit to weight loss programs. Fans watched her spiral into frustration, often lashing out when she felt pressured. But the reality of mortality has a way of sparking change. After multiple health scares, including hospital stays that nearly ended her life, Tammy began to shift her mindset. She shocked critics and fans alike by committing to weight loss surgery requirements, finally losing enough weight to qualify. Her determination didn't just save her life, it gave her a chance at a new one. The triumph of bariatric surgery. Bariatric surgery was Tammy's first major step toward freedom. In preparation, she followed a strict diet, endured therapy sessions, and proved to doctors that she was serious. By the time she underwent the operation, she had already lost a significant amount of weight on her own. Post-surgery, Tammy entered what fans now call her miracle phase. Pounds began to drop rapidly. She documented her progress online, stunning followers with milestone after milestone. The woman who once relied on oxygen no longer needed it. The sister who once struggled to take a few steps could now walk freely. In total, Tammy lost over 400 pounds after bariatric surgery and consistent lifestyle changes. Yet as the fat melted away, a new problem emerged, one that threatened her sense of victory. The burden of excess skin. Weight loss on the scale is often celebrated as the ultimate measure of success. But for those who undergo massive transformations, there's a hidden reality: excess skin. For Tammy, this skin was more than an annoyance. It weighed her down, literally and emotionally. The loose folds caused painful rashes, infections, and sores. The weight of the hanging tissue made it hard to exercise comfortably. And when Tammy looked in the mirror, she sometimes felt like her progress wasn't visible at all. Doctors explained that the extra skin wasn't just cosmetic, it was a medical issue. It pulled on her joints, disrupted her posture, and kept her body from functioning optimally. The only way forward was surgery. Preparing for skin removal surgery. Tammy's road to skin removal surgery wasn't automatic. She had to maintain her weight loss, stay healthy, and prove she could recover responsibly. Doctors performed evaluations to ensure her heart and lungs could withstand hours under anesthesia. Tammy admitted publicly that she was nervous. Having already been close to death multiple times, she knew the risks. But she also recognized that without this surgery, she would never feel fully free of her past. Family encouragement became her anchor. Amy reminded her that she had already proven the impossible was possible. Chris cheered her on, telling her that she had already defied every doctor's prediction. The fans, too, sent messages of hope, flooding Tammy's social media with love and support. Inside the operating room, the day of surgery was filled with both fear and excitement. Surgeons planned to remove skin primarily from Tammy's abdomen, arms, and thighs, areas where the sagging was most severe. The procedure lasted several hours. In total, doctors removed about 50 pounds of excess skin from Tammy's body. The change was immediate. Her frame looked dramatically different, her posture improved, and her body no longer carried the dead weight of tissue that served no purpose. For Tammy, waking up after surgery was overwhelming. She cried, not just from the pain but from relief. She had made it. She had survived yet another hurdle. The agony of recovery. Skin removal recovery is notoriously grueling. Tammy was fitted with compression garments to keep swelling down. Drains were inserted to remove fluid buildup. Every movement hurt, from sitting up to rolling over in bed. But Tammy was no stranger to pain. She pushed through, reminding herself that this was temporary. She relied on her support system and documented her recovery progress online, sharing raw updates with fans who cheered her on. She admitted that some days were harder than others, especially when she felt drained emotionally. But each passing week brought visible results. Her body was reshaping, and for the first time she began to feel comfortable in her own skin, literally. The new Tammy. After recovery, Tammy emerged with a body she hadn't seen in decades. Her total weight loss, around 450 to 500 pounds including skin removal, was staggering. She now weighed under 300 pounds, a milestone that once seemed impossible. But the physical change wasn't the most powerful part. Emotionally, Tammy experienced a rebirth. She said in interviews and online updates that she finally felt free from the prison of her old body. The excess skin had been like a shadow of her past, clinging to her even as she worked toward a healthier future. Once it was gone, Tammy felt like she could finally let go of the person she used to be. Her confidence skyrocketed. She began posting more pictures, smiling more often, and openly talking about her dreams. For the first time, Tammy wasn't just surviving, she was living. Family and fan reactions. When Amy first saw her sister after recovery, she reportedly cried tears of joy. Chris expressed that he was in awe of her strength, calling her the warrior of the family. Fans across the world lit up social media with support. Many called Tammy their inspiration, sharing that her progress gave them the courage to start their own health journeys. For years, she had been seen as the sister least likely to succeed. Now, she had become the symbol of resilience. Beyond the surgery, what's next? Tammy has hinted at exciting new chapters. She wants to travel, explore life outside of Kentucky, and even consider writing about her experience. She also expressed an interest in inspiring others struggling with obesity and food addiction, potentially stepping into advocacy. While her journey isn't finished, because health is lifelong, Tammy now faces the future with hope instead of fear. Why Tammy's story matters? Tammy Slaton's story resonates because it proves that change is possible even when the odds seem impossible. She went from being written off by doctors and doubted by viewers to becoming a living testament of perseverance. Her skin removal surgery wasn't just about shedding pounds of tissue. It symbolized releasing years of struggle, pain, and self-doubt. It marked a new chapter where Tammy isn't defined by her weight but by her strength. A rebirth in every sense. Tammy Slaton has lost nearly 500 pounds in total, including over 50 pounds of excess skin. But the true weight she lost wasn't just physical, it was emotional. She shed years of shame, grief, and limitations, stepping into a version of herself that is strong, confident, and alive. Fans who have followed her from the very beginning can agree. Tammy's skin removal surgery was more than just another step in her weight loss journey. It was the most emotional change yet, a moment where the woman once fighting for survival finally stepped into the life she always deserved. And in doing so, Tammy didn't just change her body. She changed her story.